Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Honghuang. Holy City of the Human Race, Cultivating 3,000 Immortal Emperors. Crossing the wilderness and becoming the first human race created by An herself, the Ancestor Taichu was filled with unwillingness to think that in the future war between witches and demons, the human race would be reduced to ants and slaughtered recklessly. At this moment, one can obtain the heart of the heavens, which can be used to connect the heavens and all realms. Thinking of the countless resources of the heavens and the world, as well as the demons and heavenly pride, Taichu decided to build a holy city belonging to the ancestors. Human race wilderness, please ask the demon emperor to bring all the demon races to death. May everyone in the human race be like a dragon, immortal. As the heavenly emperor of the human race, I will suppress all enemies in the world. Our cultivators, why bother to fight? Let's step on the sky and shatter the heavenly court. I have a sword that can slay demons, defeat gods, conquer heaven, abolish religion, preach, and slay saints. When the war of witches and demons broke out many years later, 3,000 immortal emperors emerged from the holy city of the ancestors, and many transcendent beings and saints realized that the human race had become a powerful force dominating the wilderness. Old author's new book, quality guaranteed, everyone can take a look, absolutely amazing. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. 001 crosses the flood and wilderness, becoming a human ancestor. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 001 crosses the flood and wilderness, becoming a human ancestor. Today, I, An have formed a path and opened up a path in the chaos. Taoist friends can come and observe. He opened his eyes in a daze and heard this voice at the beginning. He remembered that he had died on the hospital bed. How could he come to this unfamiliar place as soon as he opened his eyes? Wait, my body. At first, it seemed that she had sensed something, and her face was filled with surprise as she looked at her body. It was not the body plagued by the disease in her previous life, but a powerful physique. How to describe it? It's like the difference between a star and gravel. If one's body in a previous life stood in front of this body, it could probably turn that body into fly ash with just a breath. Filled with doubts, Taichu looked around curiously, only seeing a group of people without any trace. When Taichu was puzzled, memories came to mind one after another, and Taichu finally knew the current situation. It turned out that he had traveled to the period of the flood and became the first human race created by An, which is the ancestor of the human race. Just now, the voice was from An. She had already left the human race to open up a dojo in the chaos, because after An preached, she promised to protect the human race for 10,000 years, so the human race was safe for these 10,000 years. Except for those supernatural beasts, most of the cultivators in the wilderness dare not attack the human race, otherwise they will offend the saints. What will happen in 10,000 years? After thousands of years, the human race will become a plaything for countless tribes in the wilderness. Even when the demon race discovers that the human race's flesh and soul can cause damage to the witch race's physical body, the human race is considered to have suffered. The demon tribe slaughters the human race recklessly in order to deal with the witch tribe, as well as to make a living. In order to prevent the human race from being exploited by the demon race, the witch race also chose to participate in the massacre of the human race. After all, if the human race is completely killed, the useless demon race cannot continue to threaten them. When I think about the future of the human race, there will be no one left. If it weren't for the end of the Lich War, the human race would probably be completely extinct, and Taichu's face would be full of ugliness. What should I do? I am the ancestor, and such disasters are inevitable for me. Any human race has a chance to survive, but Taichu does not, because he is the ancestor of the human race. Whether it is his responsibility or identity, if something happens to the human race, he will be the first to suffer. Just as Taichu was in despair, a sudden burst of light flickered in front of him, and then a stone emitting 9-colored light appeared in front of Taichu. After seeing the 9-colored shining stone, Taichu was completely stunned. The hearts of the heavens. This 9-colored stone is actually the heart of the heavens, and it is also the source that led to Taichu's journey through the wilderness. From the information that appears in the mind, it is known that the heart of these heavens is the convergence of the entire laws of the heavens. The only current function is to connect with the heavens, allowing Taichu to freely travel between the heavens and all realms. Honghuang is one of the countless worlds in the heavens, but its world-class level, even if placed among the heavens, is still the highest level. Of course, this refers to the orthodox world, such as some overly outrageous worlds that do not exist in the heavens. For example, the mythological wasteland where the earth immortals are comparable to the golden immortals is not found in the heavens and all realms. There is also a balance between the combat power and cultivation system portrayed in different films, TV dramas, and novels in all realms. After all, different world rules exhibit significant differences in combat effectiveness, but sometimes life levels represent everything. Overall, the level of the world in the wilderness belongs to the level of gods and demons, but there are many worlds in the heavens and realms with such a level of gods and demons. With the help of the heart of the heavens, one can freely travel to any world, or bring people from any world. In this way, the future is bound to be limitless. After all, in the wilderness, there is something very important, which is luck. The Qi luck of the Honghuang era has been basically divided, and in order to obtain a large amount of Qi luck, other worlds are a good choice. As long as one gains Qi, Taichu can feed it back into cultivation, greatly increasing cultivation speed. And with the help of the power of the heavens and all realms, perhaps he can skip the path of the wilderness and become a saint. This is my only chance. In order to avoid the fate of the human race being slaughtered in the future, the only way is to strengthen myself and make the human race stronger. Taichu secretly thought to himself, and immediately began to scrutinize the hearts of the heavens, pondering how to use this thing. Fortunately, after reading many novels in his past life, Taichu finally came up with an excellent solution, which is to build a city with the hearts of the heavens. Then, with the power of the hearts of the heavens, we will attract talents from all the heavens and realms to come to this city in the wilderness. I will personally teach them and use them to influence the fortune of their respective worlds, so that I can become stronger on my own and also cultivate the foundation of the human race. Because Taichu clearly knew that there were demons in every world. Even though the world may have different levels of power, it is undeniable that they are all super-standard beings. If they go to a powerful world, these demons can also bloom with their own light. Seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, old authors and new books, authors and friends can share an account to ensure a minimum daily update of 20,000 words. 002 Build the holy city of the human race, absorb demons from all heavens. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 002 Build the holy city of the human race, absorb demons from all heavens. After making a decision, Taichu immediately began to take action. As the first human race that Nua personally pinched, whether in his own hands or in other aspects, he was definitely at the level of a demon. It doesn't matter what things Nua used when pinching the first batch of 3,000 people. As is well known to all, the first is the most powerful. Initially, Nua gained a little bit of merit in creating humans, and this is certainly less than Nua's merit in creating humans. However, if compared to many great merits that can be obtained, this is already considered a lot. Therefore, at this time, the qualifications of Taichu were actually no less than many innate deities. That is to say, second only to the three Qing dynasty, the second emperor of the demon clan, the great immortal Zhenyuan, the Red Cloud, and other top innate deities. So, from the beginning to the present, it is equivalent to being born with a level of cultivation as a golden immortal, just like the newly conceived three Qing Emperor Juntai and others, who were just born as golden immortals. Although Jin Xian did not possess any supernatural powers at the beginning of his cultivation, he still possessed powerful abilities. Building a city was simple and straightforward. However, it must not be built inside the wasteland. Taichu decided to build this human holy city in the crevices of the wasteland world. There, one can draw the spiritual energy of the wilderness and provide it to the people in the holy city for cultivation. At the same time, the heavenly Tao of the wilderness cannot control that place. Of course, there is the existence of the hearts of the heavens, and even the Tao of the primordial realm cannot find where the holy city is. Nowadays, the wasteland is also full of treasures. You can easily find some minerals and wood. In the early days, the human holy city was built in the small world created by the heart of the heavens. The construction speed of the human holy city was extremely fast, and it was initially successfully built in just a few days. The heart of the heavens is located in the center of the human holy city, protected by the heart of the heavens. This is actually the last retreat for the human race. If there is really no other way in the end, it is completely possible to migrate all the human race here. At that time, not to mention being saints, even if the heavenly way or the great way comes, it is impossible to find here, or even if it is found, it cannot enter. Of course, there is no other way. If possible, Taichu naturally wants the human race to walk openly on the vast land. When Taichu took the time to build the human holy city, the rest of his time was naturally spent on educating the human race. Firstly, it involves making clothes, lighting fires, hunting, literacy, and so on. At the beginning, every time I did something, I would receive merit from heaven. For example, the first piece of clothing became a postnatal merit spiritual treasure, followed by torches, bows and arrows, directly adding several merit spiritual treasures to the human race. This scene attracted the attention of the entire wilderness, and countless people's eyes turned red. However, although these meritorious spirit treasures have good power, they can only be used by the human race, so no one took them out to grab. The main reason is also that Nuwa has protected the human race for thousands of years. As the first saint after the Taoist ancestors, she still has a deterrent power, at least for now. But what attracts the most attention is still Taichu himself, especially the merit of creating human characters in the end, which can even be as massive as 1% of Nuwa's human creation. This is an extremely terrifying quantity. If converted into cultivation alone, so many merits are enough to elevate an ordinary person to the level of the great Luo Golden Immortal. At first, Tai only put it away and did not use it to improve his cultivation, because using merit to improve one's cultivation is the most wasteful. The reason why quasi-saints need merit to become saints is because they possess the Honghuang purple qi, and must rely on merit to conform to the heavenly way and become saints of the heavenly way. If one wants to improve their cultivation, no one will use merit, because merit is the oil of all things. Getting stuck in a bottleneck can be overcome with merit, and lacking magic treasures can be refined with merit. In short, there are many benefits. At first, Taichu planned to keep it and refine a treasure of postnatal merit for himself in the future. The only treasure of postnatal merit in the entire flood and wilderness is the exquisite Honghuang pagoda of heaven and earth, which is the spiritual treasure accompanying the crown Prince Laozi, the leader of the three cleans. Its defensive strength is strong enough to resist innate treasures. If it were just an ordinary acquired treasure, it would definitely not be able to achieve such power. At most, it would be comparable to a good innate spiritual treasure. But whenever the word merit is added, it is a qualitative change that directly transforms an acquired treasure into an existence comparable to an innate treasure. This shows how terrifying it is when the merit reaches a certain level. At first, I didn't know that the chaos of the wilderness would be safe for at least 10,000 years, and if I couldn't cultivate the human race within 10,000 years, I would be sorry for the supreme treasure with the heart of the heavens. After several years of development of the human race at the foot of Shouyang Mountain, Taichu finally built the holy city. Within the small world, a vast city stretching for thousands of miles rises from the ground, surrounded by countless wilderness and forests. If there is anything missing in the future, it can be slowly replenished. But currently, that's enough. The next step is to connect the heavens and determine the cultivation mode. There are many geniuses in all worlds, and each of them may be the best in their own world. Although their world may be destroyed with just one slap in front of such golden immortals as Taichu, the world level does not represent their potential. 003 The holy city of the human race opens and begins to explore the heavens. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 003 The holy city of the human race opens and begins to explore the heavens like a protagonist in the world of martial arts. He appears to be an ordinary person, yet his world level is not high. But if he were to go to the fantasy world, as long as he didn't fall, he would definitely become the strongest. Just like many protagonists in novels who travel through time, they come from weak hometowns in their past lives, but can become the strongest in other worlds, including those who can create the universe with a flick of their fingers. In the primitive world, there was not a lack of treasures that could transform one's qualifications, but a lack of life to become strong. These demons from every world were all beings of great fortune in their respective worlds. With the protection of a world, even if placed in the wilderness, one belongs to the people with strong luck and will inevitably achieve success in the future. So Taichu decided to randomly summon people from all heavens and worlds to come to the human race holy city. As for the training mode, the initial choice at present is the trading style. Simply put, he will use the things from the past to sell in the human holy city. And with the arrival of the human race from all over the world, one only needs to pay for their luck to purchase. At the beginning, I gained good luck, while the human race in all heavens and realms received resources. This is the best way to cultivate, and both sides can benefit. If encountering a human race with innate demons, Taichu will recruit them into the core of the holy city, and at that time, they will put in some cultivation, because these people will become the backbone of the future human race. With a preliminary plan in place, Taichu immediately began preparations. First, they returned to the base of the Honghuang human race, and then gathered some strong members of the human race. We will see our ancestors. The first generation of the human race bowed respectfully to Taichu. In recent years, the second generation of the human race has been giving birth, but it has only been a few years. The human race is still too weak and the number of people is too small. But it only takes thousands of years for the human race to grow. After all, the breeding ability of the human race is extremely terrifying. After looking around for a while, Taichu said to the crowd, "Choose 3 xian, 10 tian, and 100 dixian to follow this seat." Listening to Taichu's words, these strong members of the human race did not hesitate at all, because Taichu is currently the core of the human race, and his words are the imperial edict in the human race. The early human race had only one golden immortal besides Taichu. Then there are 10 xian, 100 tian, and the rest are all dixian. The other golden immortal is a human mother. At that time, Nu Hua personally created 2 human races, one male and one female. Taichu was the male one, so their initial cultivation levels were the same. Of course, if Taichu directly used his merits to improve his cultivation, he would immediately become the great Luo golden immortal in place. However, this is meaningless. Currently, during the 10-year protection period, no strong person dares to take action against the human race. After 10,000 years, what can a mere de Luo Jin Xian be? At that time, whether it was the second emperor of the demon clan or the 12th ancestral which one was not a quasi-holy level powerhouse. The top 10 demon gods of the demon race are all the existence of the great Luo golden immortal, and each great witch of the witch race is also the great Luo golden immortal. Therefore, in the future disaster, the great Luo golden immortal is far from enough to watch. It's better to keep the merits and wait until later to refine powerful magic weapons for oneself, enhancing one's own combat power. With these strong members of the human race, Taichu also ordered the human race to collect some wild fruits and grass near Shouyang Mountain, which can be used later. Buzz! With the wave of Taichu's hand, everyone immediately disappeared to their original place, and when they reappeared, they arrived at the human holy city. Where is this? A mysterious immortal level powerhouse in the crowd asked incredulously. This is the holy city of the human race. Why are you here? You don't need to ask any more questions. The next thing I want you to do is very simple, which is to serve as the manager of this holy city. You three Xianxian are respectively responsible for selling spiritual medicines, fruits, mineral materials, weapons and treasures, and so on. Taichu directly infused all the information into their minds, and in the human holy city, Qi luck would be converted into currency, and all things in the world actually contain Qi luck. Especially for visitors from other worlds, what they bring with them will carry a certain amount of luck due to its weight in their respective worlds. As long as these people sell their treasures, they will naturally be able to convert them into luck. Taichu would not choose to conceal it, but would honestly tell them that these things have good luck, but as long as they want to become stronger, they will consume them. After all, for people with weak strength, luck is of no use to them. Moreover, the rules of different worlds are different, and Qi has a tremendous impact in the wilderness, even directly affecting the heavenly way and one's own cultivation. But in many worlds, luck simply represents luck, so tell the human race of all heavens and realms directly that what they originally wanted was luck. After everything is settled, Taichu immediately begins to drive the hearts of the heavens, and then searches for suitable people from the heavens and all realms to enter the human race holy city. Although the heart of the heavens can shuttle through the heavens, its power will be influenced by the power of the primordial. At present, Taichu is in the realm of golden immortal, so the strength of the world that can be found will also be limited. Of course, there is also a very small chance of finding a world far beyond the initial strength, such as those that can give birth to powerful beings at the level of saints. However, it's still good for now. With the current heritage of the human race, even if the strong of that world come, it's still a bit troublesome to trade with them. These vast flowers and plants are treasures for ordinary people in the world, but they are dispensable for top-level powerhouses. People from 4 worlds, the human holy city has just opened. You are listening at novelfull.audio. People from 4 worlds, the human holy city has just opened when the heart of the heavens was driven by the primordial, the calm and undisturbed world of the heavens experienced turbulence for the first time. Of course, no one can perceive this kind of fluctuation, even those strong individuals who have already stood at the top of their own world cannot perceive it. In the world where some people live, they have already reached a state of transcendence on the surface, overlooking the flow of the heavens and all realms. Is there a possibility that what they call overlooking the heavens and all realms is actually still within their original worldview? Looking at them in the heavens beyond the world, their so-called transcendence still struggles within their own world. It's like being the main god in the world of the main god. Walking through the heavens may seem right, but in the initial view of the controller of the hearts of the heavens inside the world of the main god are actually countless small worlds in a super large world. The only thing that truly transcends the heavens is the heart of the heavens, because this is the ultimate convergence point of countless world rules. In a world of martial arts, a young man who fell into a cliff looked at a spot of light in front of him in a daze. What is this? Do you accept the orders of the heavens and go to the holy city of the human race to start a new life? A voice rang in his ear, and the boy instinctively nodded. Then, the spot of light turned into a token and fell into his hands, while he also disappeared in place. In an ancient world, there was a pregnant woman giving birth inside the house, but it looked very poor. A baby in the pregnant woman's belly is frowning in pain, indicating that the baby is going to have difficulty giving birth, and the end result should be 1 corpse and 2 lives. But at this moment, a ray of light flickered and disappeared, as if with the help of this light, the baby was born smoothly. Born. The midwife maid shouted excitedly, but then they all panicked because they saw a token floating in front of the baby. At this moment, the token emitted a radiance, appearing very wonderful. At a moment of uncertainty, the door was pushed open, and then a middle-aged man and several women walked in. When they saw this scene, they were also shocked, but at that moment, the token burst into a brilliant light, and then wrapped around the baby and disappeared into place. Ah! This scene scared everyone present. How could a good baby be gone? The elderly woman, led by her, had a serious expression and quickly spoke to the middle-aged man beside her. This matter is under lockdown, and all insiders are not allowed to leave our Shing family in the future. If there is any news, the whole family will be killed. As the old woman finished speaking, a girl's voice rang out. Mother. After the girl came in, she saw her mother on the sickbed and immediately burst into tears. The pregnant woman gradually regained her senses and panicked as she spoke to the girl. Minglan, it's gone. Your younger brother's gone. At the moment when the baby disappeared, he saw the full face of the baby and the birthmark on its body, as well as the token that seemed to have taken away his son. Each world has taken away the people from their respective worlds due to the emergence of various heavenly orders. In the holy city of the human race in the wilderness, Taichu looked forward to the altar in front of him, and at that time, people from all over the world would come out from here. But suddenly I frowned too early, because I saw a flicker of light, and the person I imagined did not appear. Instead, a baby appeared, completely naked. This is really, how could it bring a baby? Taichu let out a bitter smile and then stepped forward to embrace the baby, looking helplessly at the heavenly beings beside him. He never expected that the heavenly beings would bring back a baby. Renzu, is this a human baby? Isn't that how my child was born? So weak, is a baby such a fragile thing? The surrounding human race curiously asked, because the first generation of human race was naturally powerful. It was like the later Yin Shenyang giving birth to Neza, which took at least a few years from pregnancy to birth. The wife of the human race was already pregnant for 2 years just now. Seeing this baby now makes her very excited, as if she is thinking of her future child. Alright, this is a baby from a small world, so naturally it cannot compare to our primitive human race. Taichu smiled and said, however, one person represents a world, and no matter how big the world is, there are benefits to it. The origin of the Qi world and so on are all excellent things, so Taichu will not dislike them. After the baby, several people appeared, first a ragged boy, then a thin girl, and finally a man in a long shirt. The hearts of the heavens instantly informed Taichu of the information about their world, and at the same time, Taichu also knew their respective identities. The first teenager dressed in rags is Zhang Wuji, who has just fallen into the cliff and has not yet obtained the 9-yang manual. The second girl wearing thin clothes is Cheng Shaoshang from the Star Han world. Her father has not returned yet and lives a life of hunger in a rural village. The third man's words are from the zombie world, and he is also the only one among these who has cultivation, although his cultivation is very weak. Seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, as long as everyone provides data, the author will be crazy and not deceive anyone. I hope everyone can support me. 005 Introduction to the Holy City of the Human Race. What is the Qi Yun point? You are listening at novelfull.audio. 005 Introduction to the Holy City of the Human Race. What is the Qi Yun point? Adding the baby that was previously held in the arms of Taichu, this time it drives the heart of the heavens to connect a total of 4 worlds. The world of the first baby is the world of knowledge, and his identity is Xing Minglan's younger brother. This child, who was supposed to have died of difficult childbirth, was born successfully at this time. It must be said that it is also a fate, and this child's luck is indeed excellent. Not only was it born smoothly, but it was also possible to have such a great opportunity to successfully come to this desolate human holy city, and from then on, it can be considered as a chance of creation. Welcome to the holy city of the human race. I am the ancestor of the Honghuang people, Taichu. You can call me the ancestor of the Taichu people. Taichu looked at the 3 people in front of him and said, as for the little one, he was holding it in his arms. Zhang Wuji, Cheng Shaoshang, and Jiushu were all a bit confused, but in the end, Jiushu, who had seen the world before, was the calmest. He was the first to react and ask Taichu. Ancestor Taichu, dare you ask where this is? Uncle Jio's face was full of curiosity, but at the same time, there was also respect, because he could vaguely sense the powerful aura on the bodies of the elementary people. This is a wasteland, and I am the first innate human race created by Empress Nyuwa, so I call myself Renzu. As soon as this statement was spoken, the whole room fell silent, followed by waves of exclamation. Among them, Uncle Jio's reaction was the greatest. As a disciple of Mao Shan, he certainly had the best understanding of myths and legends. The first human race created by Empress Nyuwa was definitely at the level of a great god. It should be noted that in his world, immortals never emerge, and such a great deity figure from ancient times is simply a legendary existence in mythology. As for Zhang Wuji and Cheng Shaoshang, they have heard of the name of Empress Nyuwa, but they don't know anything else. When leading everyone into the holy city, Taichu also explained to them the reason for the existence of the human holy city. Lin Jiu, since there are immortals in the world you are in, you must know about the battle of the Lich demons, right? Lin Jiu nodded. Although every world is different, some histories are interconnected. For example, in Lin Jiu's world, there will also be ancient times, battles of witches and gods, and so on. Of course, due to differences in world levels, the scale and intensity of their world are definitely far inferior to the wasteland world. For example, the immortals in their world are definitely not as powerful as those in the wasteland world. After all, the world is so big, and how powerful are the immortals that their resources can cultivate? Lin Jiu nodded at Taichu's inquiry. As Taichu led the crowd forward, he continued. The war of the witches and demons will erupt completely after 10,000 years, and at that time, the newly born primordial human race will lose the protection of the saints and become fish and meat, being brutally killed by the two races of the witches and demons. The purpose of the existence of the human race holy city is to avoid all of this, to increase the human race's heritage as much as possible during these 10,000 years, and then respond to future crises. After a pause, Taichu looked at a few people and added. Of course, although you are also a human race, you are not a primitive human race. You can choose whether to participate in this war or not. Don't worry. This won't affect whether you will continue to stay in the holy city. After all, for us, any human race in the world is a human race. With the help of the holy city, you can obtain cultivation resources and become an immortal and ancestor in your own world, which is also simple. After listening to Taichu's explanation, everyone understood the purpose of the existence of this human holy city. A region belonging to the human race of all heavens and realms, where whether it is resource exchange in their respective worlds or purchasing precious cultivation resources directly from the human holy city, this is a great opportunity for anyone. Renzu, can the cold poison in my body be solved? Zhang Wuji looked at Taichu eagerly and asked. His cold poison was beyond the control of even his master Zhang Sanfeng, but the person in front of him was a fairy. Perhaps there was really a way to solve it for himself. However, it is obvious that such a simple matter is definitely not a problem for Taichu. Although the establishment of the human race holy city is to absorb the human race from all heavens, all prerequisites are still based on the principle of fairness. The human holy city can provide you with everything, but you will have to pay a price accordingly, so Taichu looked at Zhang Wuji and said. It's not difficult to deal with the cold poison on your body, but everything in the human race holy city is based on luck. The things on your body, the knowledge you know, or in other words, you have luck. As long as you sell them to the human race holy city, you can obtain luck points. This auspicious point can directly purchase things from the human sacred city, and it will also be the currency for future transactions in the human sacred city. Listening to Taichu's words, Zhang Wuji suddenly realized that he didn't know much after careful consideration. Do Wudong's basic swordsmanship and the medical techniques taught by Hu Qingyo really have any luck? Leading everyone forward, we finally arrived at the central square of the human sacred city. This is the holy monument of the human sacred city, where you can sell any items you have and turn them into points of luck. Everyone nodded and then looked at Zhang Wuji's anxious expression, ready to let him come first. Zhang Wuji stepped forward and directly sold his martial arts skills, which he didn't know much about. Wudong's basic swordsmanship, lion roar skill, as well as Hu Qingyou's medical skills, and so on. But what Zhang Wuji didn't expect was that each cultivation technique directly brought him 100 points of qi luck. Seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, as long as everyone provides data, the author will be crazy and not deceive anyone. I hope everyone can support me. 006 Everyone starts trading, 100 is innate. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 006 Everyone starts trading, 100 is innate. Zhang Wuji was very curious at this moment whether there were many points of luck. At first, I didn't know how to explain, but after thinking for a moment, I said to Zhang Wuji. How to put it, the spiritual medicine obtained from 100 points of qi luck is enough to progress your cultivation from an ordinary person to an innate state. Listening to Qin Tian's words, Zhang Wuji was shocked. It was a congenital realm. You should know that even his master Zhang Sanfeng's current state is only innate. Although Zhang Sanfeng has reached the pinnacle of his innate realm, he is still one of the few innate experts in the entire martial arts world. Such as Shaolin Sandu, the leader of Mingjiao, Dong Dingtian, and others, whose cultivation in the innate realm can make them famous throughout the world. If you enter the later stage of Xiaoao Jianghu, you can dominate the Jianghu as soon as you enter the innate realm, such as Dongfang Invincible and Fengqingyang. In Zhang Wuji's eyes, it was just a basic Wudong swordsmanship that could make him a master in the innate realm. In fact, this is the reason for different needs. What they see in their eyes is only a basic swordsmanship book, while what they see in the beginning is their luck. These things from other worlds hold more weight in their respective worlds, so they can be transformed into qi. The more precious something is in one's own world, the more luck it brings. Like randomly picking a wild grass in the wilderness, this effect is definitely at the level of a miraculous elixir. But is this kind of wild grass important for the wilderness? It's not important at all. Therefore, there is almost no luck in this world, but it is different in other worlds. The spiritual pill with the same effect as this wild grass in other worlds is very precious because it contains a lot of luck in one's own world. In fact, what sets it apart from others is that Taichu also knew a principle, which is the effect of this thing on the sun of qi or the plot of the world. In a novel, the protagonist needs something for their early rise, even if it is not important to the whole world, just because it is very important to the protagonist, they will carry great luck. Seeing that Zhang Wuji had just casually traded a few things and actually gained so many points, Lin Jiu, the ninth uncle beside him, was also looking forward to it. He directly traded more than 10 books of Maoshan Taoist techniques. After all, Jiushu is a master of Maoshan. Coupled with his years of demonic defense, he has seized a lot of good things. If all of them were exchanged for qi luck, it should be quite a bit, right? Sure enough, even without trading the authentic techniques of Maoshan, Uncle Jiu still gained a fortune point of 3,000 yuan. After all, unlike Zhang Wuji is only a teenager at this time and has not yet risen. Uncle Jiu is already a master of Maoshan, and he has already obtained all the necessary accumulation. Naturally, there are many luck points that can be traded. If Zhang Wuji gets the 9 Yang manual, the universe will move, and Taijiquan sword will also be traded for a large amount of qi points. Finally, it's Cheng Shaoshang. Compared to the previous two, she has become much more miserable. It's just that she really doesn't have anything to trade. In the end, I could only trade one sachet that I had been wearing for a long time and obtain 10 pitiful luck points. As for the last little one, Taichu was also very helpless. Even if this child were to be directly released back into his own world now, it would probably be very dangerous, wouldn't it? After all, if taken away openly by the heavenly orders, there is a high possibility of being hurt by those with intentions after returning. And the ancestor of the primordial hall, a strong person at the level of the golden immortal, doesn't need to do anything unnecessary in this child's world. Why not hand it over to the female relatives in the ancestral land of the human race to raise it, and let it go back when they have some self-protection ability? Let a human race take the child away, and Taichu looked at the crowd and continued speaking. In addition to trading valuable things, Qiyun points can also be obtained through self-acquisition. For example, slaying demons and eliminating demons, or conquering the world, can earn Qi points. In short, as long as there is a big commotion in their respective worlds, whether you do good or bad things, you can get Qi points and then obtain transactions to become Qi points. After listening to Taichu's words, everyone suddenly understood, and then Taichu briefly explained and left. There are still too few people in the holy city of the human race, and there is no need to do everything personally. Currently, there are still many things to do on the side of the human race in the Honghuang era, and most of the time in the beginning was still spent there. After Taichu left, the three of them exchanged a glance, and in the end, Uncle Jiu gave advice. Qi luck points play a significant role. If you need strength and your world is in danger, the first choice is to improve your strength first. After a pause, Uncle Jiu added. Moreover, besides things that already have good luck, the best way to obtain good luck at present is to achieve great things in one's own world. If the world of poverty can choose to slay demons and eliminate demons, then one can gain merit in themselves. Your world can choose major events that can affect the world situation, but to do so, it requires strength support, so enhancing strength is your top priority. Uncle Jiu's suggestion is the most correct, at least Zhang Wuji and Cheng Shaoshang believe so. Ask for flowers and evaluation tickets, and the sixth is more complete. If the data is awesome, the first day will be more than 12 times. 007's cultivation has been crazily improved, causing everyone's excitement. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 007's cultivation has been crazily improved, causing everyone's excitement. After making a decision, the three of them went straight to the storefront where they purchased the elixir. A cultivator from the primordial human race was meditating and practicing here. At present, the human race does not have a cultivation method, so everyone relies on their instincts to absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. However, due to the heart of the heavens, the spiritual energy in the human race holy city is no less intense than that in the sage dojo. Even in the future, when the cultivation of Taichu becomes stronger, the richness of spiritual energy here will be even more terrifying. May I ask what I need? The human cultivator asked with a smile on his face. The three of them quickly saluted. After all, this is a powerful human from the wilderness, at least also a presence in the immortal realm, which is not something they can neglect. Immortal, we want a pill to improve our cultivation. The human cultivator nodded and said that the current human race knows nothing, so naturally they don't know how to refine pills. But it can still be achieved by kneading the spiritual medicine containing spiritual energy into a pill, and the effect is just there, isn't it? Your strength is too low, and you can only use this Qingling pill to improve your cultivation. Each one has a little bit of qi, and its effect should be very good for you. Mainly because I have never seen such a weak creature before. Nowadays, the creatures born in the wilderness are powerful creatures, but I have never seen what mortals are. After all, the term mortal only emerged after the birth of the human race, because as time passed, each generation of the human race weakened. The raw material of Qingling pill is wild grass in the wilderness, and in the wilderness, it is easy to grab a large handful on the ground. But for the martial arts world, and even the vast majority of the cultivation world, it is rare to see. After all, the wilderness is filled with rich innate spiritual energy, and in many worlds, the innate spiritual energy of the wilderness is actually immortal energy. Can the effect of wild grass growing in a world full of immortal energy be simple? This so-called Qingling pill can be extracted from 10 wild herbs, so each one with a little bit of qi luck is actually earned by Taichu's blood. In the end, Zhang Wuji and Jiu Shu each purchased some for reuse, while Cheng Shaoshang could only purchase 3 due to limited funds. Then, spending 5 more points of chi luck, I obtained a martial arts book from Uncle Jio to strengthen my body. For those who practice Taoism like this, ordinary martial arts are essential for strengthening the body. They can be used to deal with zombies on a daily basis, but in most cases, they rely on Taoist techniques. After completing the transaction, the 3 of them left the human clan Holy City separately. As they had not officially joined the Holy City, they could not stay here, nor could they use the environment here for cultivation. Otherwise, with the environment of the human Holy City, even a pig can become an immortal here. Of course, ordinary people cannot absorb the energy here, and it needs to be diluted before it can be absorbed. After all, only innate creatures can absorb innate spiritual energy, or even immortal-level powerhouses. In the heavenly world, Zhang Wuji returned to the valley and began practicing. He has not learned the 9-yang manual yet, so he can only practice Wudang's basic mental skills first. His aptitude was already very good, but now with the assistance of the Qingling pill, his cultivation effect is skyrocketing. After a bottle of Qingling pill was consumed, Zhang Wuji's cultivation strength skyrocketed to the later stage of the day after tomorrow. It should be noted that there are not many innate experts who will be promoted at present, such as the 4 great Dharma kings of Mingjiao and other high-level experts, who are only successful in the day after tomorrow. After all, if they had innate cultivation, they would have become the new leaders of Mingjiao long ago. In the absence of Zhang Sanfeng, the innate expert is at the top of the martial arts world, and Zhang Sanfeng is a half-step master. As a demon who created his own Tai Chi sword, Zhang Sanfeng's strength exceeds his realm. 2 more bottles of Qingling pill, and my strength can be elevated to the innate realm, which is simply unbelievable. Zhang Wuji was very shocked. That's an innate realm. If I had more luck, would I be able to surpass my master Zhang Sanfeng and become the new top martial artist in the martial arts world? At present, Zhang Wuji is still young, and his memory of the various martial arts sects forcing his parents to death is still fresh in his mind. He used to have no strength, but now that he has the opportunity to gain strong strength, how can he not seek revenge? Just as Zhang Wuji was preparing to continue his cultivation, he saw a white figure flickering away in the distance. After thinking for a moment, Zhang Wuji decided to go and see it. What if he could earn some energy points? On the other hand, returning to the zombie world, Jiu Shu also began his cultivation. He is now at the pinnacle of the Earth Master realm, and according to his qualifications, the highest achievement in his life was the Heavenly Master. Because even in their Maoshan, only the sect leader and the elders are the Heavenly Masters. Jiu will be at most one of the elders of Maoshan in the future. After his death, he can go to the underworld to serve as a ghost messenger, which is his best way out in the future. But now everything has changed, he has gone to the human race Holy City. This is a great opportunity. With the help of the Qingling pill, Uncle Jio's cultivation speed has increased by more than 100 times during his first practice. Not only has it broken through to the perfect realm of the Earth Teacher, but it has also broken through the barriers of the realm and elevated to the Heavenly Teacher. This is simply unbelievable, because according to Uncle Jio's estimation, it would take at least 20 years to achieve the Heavenly Master realm. This is still because they rely on merit to constantly slay demons and eliminate them. Who made their world already the end of the Dharma era. But now it's different. It's just that a few bottles of Qingling pills have turned out to be Heavenly Masters themselves. Can we soar to become immortals in the future? Looking for flowers, looking for evaluation tickets. If you like it, please provide the author with some data. The author will come back for 10 updates today. 008 Everyone's cultivation has skyrocketed, starting to earn chi luck. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 008 Everyone's cultivation has skyrocketed, starting to earn chi luck. My way is promising. Uncle Jio's face was full of excitement. After all, the greatest dream of a cultivator is to become an immortal through cultivation. It's just that in the previous environment, it was impossible to achieve this dream. At most, it would be to accumulate more merits and then do a ghost job when going to the underworld. But now it's different. With such a great opportunity, I can easily break through the previously difficult realm of the Heavenly Master. How difficult will it be to become an immortal in the future? With excitement in his arms, Uncle Gio stood up and decided to go out to slay demons and eliminate them, because these demons probably carry good luck. This is also the best way Uncle Gio can think of so far. The cultivation effect of Zhang Wuji and Jiushu is good because they already have some capital. However, Cheng Shaoshang is different. After purchasing martial arts at 10 o'clock, there are not many left. So there are only a few pills, and I don't know if she can enter the path of cultivation. But what can be certain is that as long as she has a little cultivation strength, she can live better. After all, living in this rural village, even having a full meal is a luxury on weekdays. If it weren't for my intelligence, I might not have been able to wait for my parents to come back and starve to death here. The martial arts that Jiu Shu sold to Cheng Shaoshang are called cloud lifting hands, which is a more suitable martial arts for women to cultivate. In Mao Shan, it is specifically used for female disciples to exercise their bodies. After all, although the disciples of Mao Shan all use Taoist methods to slay demons and eliminate them, they can encounter some powerful zombies that they cannot cope with without a strong enough physique. The effect of Qing Ling pill far exceeds Cheng Shaoshang's imagination. If she had practiced it herself, she wouldn't have thought about lifting the cloud hand for a year or two to get started. With the help of the Qing Ling pill, Cheng Shaoshang's cultivation speed was almost flying. After the 3 Qing Ling pills were consumed, Cheng Shaoshang directly completed the transformation. The physical body was greatly refined, and then it also generated internal power, directly becoming a warrior in the early days after tomorrow. Although it is only the first realm of a warrior, in the martial arts world of Cheng Shaoshang, the early stage warriors are already great masters. Ordinary people, no matter how much they exercise or how talented they are at most capable of lifting 1,000 gold medals. Such as the ancient Western Chu overlord and so on, but in the early days after tomorrow, warriors with their physical bodies tempered with internal power can at least lift hundreds of pounds. If internal force is added, the force will actually be even stronger. Nowadays, Cheng Shaoshang is like this. Her martial arts level in the early days after tomorrow is already enough for her to protect herself, and this is just the beginning. The effect of Qing Ling pill is too powerful. As long as she obtains some more chi points and purchases some Qing Ling pills, even if she reaches the innate realm, it will be easy. And even if a warrior in the innate realm is surrounded by thousands of soldiers and horses, as long as there are not countless archers aiming, the innate warrior can leave calmly. After feeling his own strength, Cheng Shaoshang's face was filled with excitement. I need to find a way to earn my luck, only then can I become stronger. Having experienced the growth of strength, anyone will become addicted to it, especially Shaoli like Cheng Shaoshang, who is powerless. At this moment, he gains unimaginable power, and his excitement is higher than others. The various heavenly orders on everyone's body are the energy that can see the people or objects around them. By holding on to an item, one can gain luck, and by doing things that influence others around them, one can also gain luck. After some thought, Cheng Shaoshang realized that the only way he could obtain chi points was to participate in battles. At present, although Cheng Shaoshang's dynasty has been established, there are still many resistance forces around him, and in short, he has always been in a state of war. If one can participate in it, they will definitely gain a lot of luck. After all, participating in the establishment of a country, there is no doubt that there is luck. Cheng Shaoshang had a strong execution ability, and after making a decision, she left the village with her lotus house on the same day. Although Lianfang is only a weak woman, if one can gain qi, buying a martial arts book for Lianfang and increasing some strength is simple. Since it has been decided to go to the battlefield to earn luck, it is natural to have a few confidants, and obviously the lotus house is the best choice. Of course, it will be troublesome for the 2 women to enter the military, so Cheng Shaoshang and Lianfang are preparing to dress up as men. There are also female generals, such as Cheng Shaoshang's mother, but pretending can reduce some trouble. Of course, if someone with vision can see their disguise at a glance at the moment. When they have some luck in the future, they can buy some martial arts or props that can cover their face from Uncle Jiu or Zhang Wuji. As for the human holy city, I don't think it would sell such cheap things. Moreover, the holy city of the human race requires luck, such as the items sold by Zhang Wuji and others before, which have been taken away but still exist. They can also trade with members of the human holy city again. It can be said that if an item has luck, it can be traded twice. Therefore, both Jiushu and Zhang Wuji believe that this is a great opportunity. Seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, completing the 8th round. Is there anyone else watching? Could you please take a break? Thank you for your support. 009 Holy City Development, Changes in Initial Members. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 009 Holy City Development, Changes in Initial Members. Zhang Wuji went to find the 9-yang manual. Uncle Jiu went to kill demons, while Cheng Shaoshang went to join the army. Everyone found what they wanted to do. At this time, at the foot of Shouyang Mountain, the ancestral land of the Honghuang human race, Taichu carried the child back into the tribe. Of course, because this child comes from an ordinary world and cannot withstand the innate spiritual energy of the wilderness, Taichu imposed a seal on him. The innate spiritual energy will have an extremely weak small part, slowly entering his body, and after transforming his body, he can gradually adapt to the harsh environment. Taichu decided to raise this child for more than 10 years, and then asked to put it back in his own world. The arrival of this child has caused a flood of maternal love among women in the ethnic group, as their child has not yet been born. Now that there is suddenly an additional child in the ethnic group, it inevitably reminds them of the appearance of their own child being born. It is worth mentioning that the time flow rate of the flood and famine should be different from that of other worlds, and this time flow rate will change. The distance between the two worlds in nothingness will affect the time flow rate. When this child grows up and returns to his own world, probably only a few years have passed in his world at most. In the following time, Taichu occasionally went to the human sacred city, driving the heart of the heavens to attract more people from all worlds to come to the human sacred city. At the beginning, it was also discovered that not everyone knew them themselves, and only a very small number were illusory characters known in previous life films and TV dramas. However, the problem is not significant. With the arrival of these people, the human holy city has also become lively. And there are also more types of worlds, including historical worlds, urban worlds, and even science fiction worlds. However, at present, when it comes to martial arts, the highest value is in the world of martial arts. Uncle Jiu's worldview is quite significant, and there is a legend of immortals. In addition, in terms of destructive power, some interstellar worlds are currently even more powerful. After all, a spaceship and powerful weapons can truly destroy a planet. And this type of world is very popular in the human holy city, and their technology is an opportunity for ordinary urban people to get rich. And the cold weapons they make are super divine weapons for people in the martial arts world. The human holy city has been developing for over a decade, but in fact, for some people in the world, their own world has only passed a year and a half, at most a few years. And over the past decade, the first few people to enter the human race holy city have undergone significant changes. Firstly, there is the heaven-reliant world. Several years have passed in Zhang Wuji's world, and he has been living in this valley all these years. After obtaining the 9-yang manual, he directly transferred to the 9-yang manual, and then found some treasures in the valley. Although he had little luck, he accumulated some. Moreover, chi points can be traded with each other. For example, the peaches found here by Zhang Wuji can increase cultivation, and he has sold them to many people in the ordinary world. Even people in the science fiction world have a need, after all, for them. This natural evolution is simply amazing. Even humans in the science fiction world covet powerful personal abilities without the need for technology or even genetic modification. So after Zhang Wuji gained his qi, he also made rapid progress in his strength. Several years have passed, and Zhang Wuji not only accumulated thousands of qi points without any use, but also improved his cultivation to the level of innate perfection. His strength at this time is estimated to be invincible except for Zhang Sanfeng, mainly in terms of attack methods. He only knows one basic wudang sword technique. Of course, in the face of absolute strength, even the basic swordsmanship of wudang, Zhang Wuji, can unleash the power of divine-level swordsmanship. At that time, I went out. The points in this place are too few, and now that foreign tribes have occupied the land of the Central Plains, there are too many places where I can earn energy. Zhang Wuji whispered to himself, because many people from around the world have already come to the human race holy city, and his personality and worldview have been reshaped. The Virgin Mary Zhang Wuji in the original work should no longer exist. At the same time, in the zombie world where Uncle Jiu is located, only a year has passed here, but for Uncle Jiu, the gains of this year can even be compared to 100 years before. The ninth uncle of cultivation has been elevated to the perfect level of the heavenly master. If compared to the cultivation realm, it should be the period of pill formation. This realm is already very impressive in Uncle Nine's world. Just let's talk about the old man Ren who appeared in the original work. In the past, Uncle Nine had to pay a great price to deal with him. But this time when encountering Grandpa Ren, Uncle Jiu just slapped him and suppressed him, which is the difference between Tian Shi and Di Shi. The previous Nine Uncle was just the pinnacle of the Earth Master, but now the Nine Uncle is the perfect Heavenly Master. Unfortunately, with the advent of the end of the Dharma era, the highest level cultivator in this world is the Heavenly Master, and even the realm division of ancient times has disappeared. And Jiushu is undoubtedly the wealthiest person in the current human holy city. The luck points obtained by killing Lord Ren alone are 3,000. After all, the specifications of the world are different, and the energy points contained in this thing are also different. At present, Uncle Jiu has so many chi points that he can support his cultivation to a very high level. Seeking flowers and evaluation votes, please provide some data and don't be stingy. The author is crazy and popular. 0-10 time flies in a blink of an eye, Female General Cheng Shaoshang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 0-10 time flies in a blink of an eye, Female General Cheng Shaoshang. Not only did Uncle Jiu's own strength skyrocket, but his two inexperienced disciples also gained the cultivation of a master due to the provision of Uncle Jiu's resources. It should be noted that in Mao Shan, the cultivation of a ground master can be called a true person, such as Jiushu, Simu, Qianhe, and so on. They all left Mao Shan to stand on their own mountain when becoming a ground master. Nowadays, as long as Uncle Jiu is willing, his two disciples can be released to establish their own sect at any time. Zhang Wuji and Uncle Jiu have both developed well, while Cheng Shaoshang's side has undergone significant changes. Several years have passed in her world, and during these years, she has also experienced hardships. After all, compared to the other few people, her initial development capital was too low. Fortunately, as a few people who entered the human holy city together, their relationship with each other was quite good. Uncle Jiu and Zhang Wuji both gave her some help, so Cheng Shaoshang managed to make it through in the early stages. In the past few years, with his increasing reputation in his own world, Cheng Shaoshang's fortune has also increased. And these auspicious words were all used by Cheng Shaoshang to enhance his own strength and the strength of his army. After several years of development, Cheng Shaoshang's cultivation level did not improve as much as Zhang Wuji and Jiushu Horror because she took a different route. Most of her luck was used to purchase food, as well as to purchase weapons and armor from people in the modern or science fiction world. Nowadays, Cheng Shaoshang is perfect after birth, only one step away from his innate realm. And the troops under her command have exceeded 100,000, all of which were developed from the refugees. At the beginning, there were incidents of soldiers rebelling, and in the end, Cheng Shaoshang, on the advice of a science fiction human, used a genetic potion. This genetic potion can double the power of ordinary people, but it also sets up a genetic backdoor. If Cheng Shaoshang is willing, he can easily make his 7 orifices bleed to death. Since then, there has been no rebellion by soldiers. Although Cheng Shaoshang did not intend to do so, since he has taken this path, he must do so. Otherwise, what if he were killed by his own soldiers one day? 3 years have passed, and there are no more invincible pirates in the sea. It's time to go back. Cheng Shaoshang secretly thought to himself that the Northern War had ended 2 years ago, but he spent a year attacking the Xiongnu. Sending troops several times directly repelled the Xiongnu by 100 miles, and obtained large grasslands for the Han dynasty. In the future, they could serve as horse farms to cultivate war horses for the Han dynasty. Just this military achievement alone is enough to make Cheng Shaoshang crowned as the king. Nowadays, Cheng Shaoshang's title is General Xianwei, but her 100,000-strong army once defeated 200,000 iron cavalry of the Xiongnu, making her the world's first army. Emperor Wen of the Great Han Dynasty highly valued her, and there were even rumors that he wanted to marry the princess. Now that the war is over, Cheng Shaoshang will also return to the capital with his troops. When Cheng Shaoshang returned to the capital with his troops, his parents had already returned to the capital. The Cheng family in the capital is now in a mess. What should I do? My son is coming back, but Cheng Shaoshang still hasn't found him. Mrs. Cheng's eyes were full of anxiety. 3 years ago, Cheng Shaoshang, who was raised in a rural village, suddenly disappeared. At that time, she was very anxious. But I searched for a long time but couldn't find it, and in the end, I simply gave up. She never dared to tell Cheng Shaoshang's parents about this matter. After all, if they knew about it, something big would happen. But we can't hide it for a lifetime. If the army returns to court today, this matter probably won't be hidden. Gushi was also at a loss at this moment. After all, the people were gone. If he didn't provide an explanation, Cheng Shi and Xiao Yuanyi would definitely not give up easily. When everyone in the Cheng family was worried, the army led their troops back to court. The first to return was Ling Bai's black armored army, which was no different from the original work. Ling Bai did not go directly to the palace, but went to arrest the person who smuggled weapons, which was Cheng Shaoshang's uncle. After Ling Bai left, Cheng Shi and his wife also returned to the Cheng family. As expected, when they found out that Cheng Shaoshang had been missing for 3 years, Cheng Shi and his wife exploded instantly. They thought about countless possibilities, but never expected Cheng Shaoshang to go missing. Angry Xiao Yuanyi looked at Gushi and said, "I will go to the palace and request your majesty's order to find my daughter, but if Shaoshang cannot find her, I will have your whole family buried with me." Listening to Xiao Yuanyi's words, Gushi was really scared. Before, she could be careful in front of Xiao Yuanyi, but Xiao Yuanyi was too lazy to argue with her. But now it's different. Xiao Yuanyi's bottom line has been touched. If she really can't find Cheng Shaoshang, she will really kill the Gu family. While Cheng's chickens and dogs were jumping, Cheng Shaoshang also returned to court with his large army in troops. The 100,000 Divine Phoenix Army is majestic, and its power is several times stronger than Ling Bai's previous black armor guard. After all, just a gene potion can double their strength, and with the martial arts taught by Cheng Shaoshang, every Divine Phoenix Army can be as good as 10. "Oh, General Cheng, you've come to the point. Your Majesty has been waiting for a public banquet for a long time." The old eunuch's face was full of smiles, and now everyone in the world knows that this person can lead the direction of the world situation. Although it is only 100,000 troops, it is widely recognized that it can be compared to hundreds of thousands of troops. Moreover, I have the courage to defy all odds, at least Emperor Wen instructed me not to offend. Looking for flowers, looking for evaluation tickets. Today, the 10th one is completed. Is there anyone else watching? Could you please take a break? Thank you for your support.